Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to what hopefully is the last instalment of this little series. Must admit, really didn't think this would take so long, and for all of you who've watched the other two videos in its entirety, thank you very much, because you're real troopers. To be quite honest with you, it's been a bit time consuming, to be quite fair, but as I was away from bench anyway, it's given me something to do, and it's given me a little bit of a look around collection myself, just to see what I've got, and see what I can do next, sort of project wise, and other bits and pieces. If I need to rearrange anything, then I can do, and I think there's a bit of sorting out needs to still be done here and there. But I mean, where we cut off the last time, it was about halfway down that corridor, and to be quite honest with you, we did get through a lot of the earlier stuff. I think what we're going to look at on the shelves now is a little bit more run of the mill. There's a couple of nice pieces in there, but it's certainly nothing like it was in that first video of all the build ups. But if you stick around to sort of the second clip, where we start looking at, I've got a few drawers of old build ups and nicer ones, basically, not ones for restoration. I mean, some of them need a bit of tidying up after time, but there will be a few bits and pieces toward the end, which may be a bit more of interest to you. But I might have been able to squeeze them other two shells onto that last video, and made that last for an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and a half or something. But I think, as you probably got from that last video, if you did stay right till the end, you could see I was getting a little bit frustrated, to be quite honest with you, with the tenants, not the tenants, the letting agents next door. They were making hell of a noise, and I was losing my cool a little bit. So if you picked up on that, I didn't really sign that video off very well, to be quite fair. I was so distracted with what was going on next door that it was throwing me all over the place. So I thought, regardless of whether I could have fitted them last two shelves into that video, I think I would have been effing and blinding me head off by the end of that. I mean, I wasn't far off, to be quite fair with you. I did see you get noise people next door, but the amount of noise they were making, I was about to sort of fill somebody in, to be quite honest with you. So here we are again, filming a third intro. Something I didn't think I needed to do. By the way, I do have other clothes. This is just what I kind of muck about with it. And it's all right when you go outside, because nobody gives you grief because they think you're a scally, so that's fair dues with me. I don't have to speak to as many people, but I think with that said, again, I want to say thank you again to all the supporters of the channel and what have you, and those who have stuck around for these videos as well as all the other ones before it. I do appreciate it. I appreciate all the help of everybody else in the community. I know I'm a bit standoffish, just because of my time at the moment. I'm going through a lot of sort of challenges, not challenges, but I'm just finding my new future. That's all. So it's just a lot of hard work at the moment, working for myself, but we're getting there. And it just takes me away from other things sometimes. Just bear with us, and we'll certainly be back at the bench soon. I'm just pulling the Galaxy back onto the bench now, and just gonna do a little bit of tinkering on that, just so we can hopefully get another video out at the end of next week. I'd like to see some progress on that this week now, but we'll see. It's I don't feel as rushed to get back as I usually would. Like I say, it's it's one of them things where you just need a bit of time away from the bench. But you know, I am doing my best to try and get some videos, content out for you guys. So again, thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed this last bit of the video, and we'll certainly have something new for the next one. So, right, again, once again, thank you and enjoy the video. See you in a second. Right then, as I probably just explained in that first little intro, there's not a huge amount left on these shells, to be quite honest. So this bit hopefully won't take too long. But it is worth sticking around for next little clip. You know, we have got a few drawers of nice built stuff in there, and even though we're not going to look at anything in detail, then that pretty much covers the majority of the collection minus parts. And yeah, I'm not going to start going through 20 boxes of parts and stuff like that. So yeah, we're just going to have a little look what's left. Nothing too rare on here, to be quite honest with you, and you know, but we'll see what we can find anyway. I mean, there's a lot of run-of-the-mill stuff, so like I say, it shouldn't take too long, and we can finally get this series closed down, like so. But yeah, I mean, I think on this shelf, it's just mostly me commercial, what I've got left of pickups and commercial stuff and bits and pieces and what have you. I mean, got a couple of built-ups of the little red wagon. Some better than others. Some shouldn't really be on here, like a bit too nice. But yeah, I just got a few of the Limburg. I think the mixture of Limburg IMC little red wagons in various conditions and what have you, and you know, a couple of the auras. I think that's again a really nice one. Came from that nice collection lot, and which I bought recently. But you know, I'm going to keep hold of that one for now, and I've got one of the original ones with the nice glass roof on it. But I think Round 2 in the last few years has reissued that with the glass roof, which hasn't been seen for a few years. Yeah, if you're after a Diora, get that Round 2 reissue with the original box art, because that has the nicer stuff instead of that quirky camper version. So, but yeah, I think like I say, there's not a great deal. I think that's a monogram Bronco, or yeah, I think that's a monogram Bronco, and I think next to that's just a Ford I think it's the Matchbox Ford F350, but with a shortened bed on it. I think if I pull that out, you know, that's just going to cause a bit of a landslide and what have you. But yeah, we're down here, we've just got a row of Econolines. I think that's the earlier one with the round headlamps, and both of these are the slightly later ones, and I just keep them for future projects, like, you know, if I want to do a delivery van or something. And yeah, we've got a couple more down here. I think that's a Dodge, and that's a Chevy, which I've bought relatively recently, just for, you know, if I want to hack something up, you know, I don't really want to be doing that to a brand new kit. But yeah, we just got a few more F350s, again the Matchbox ones. You know, I do want to use one at cabs for a wrecker version for the Gone in 60 Seconds wrecker, but I don't know, you can use the nice Mobius cab. But like, I think I mentioned it before, but you know, when I do sort of builds for period films, or you know, old films, I kind of want the kit to be really around about the same sort of vintage kind of thing. It just adds a little bit more to the model, and I do prefer looking a bit more like that than the Mobius ones. I mean, they are actually bringing out that wrecker, aren't they? So I'm just gonna hang fire and see what that wrecker bed's like. I think it's got a couple of side options. I was going to use a Midnight Cowboy wrecker and use that, but but I think I'll hang fire just for a little bit on that. I mean, it's not pressing anyway, but yeah, we've just got other stuff like, you know, I think that's a monogram pickup. The last one I have, I think I've had 5 recently, and I've sold 4. I think the last one went out today, but I just kept one for myself there, and I think that's just a later version of the AMZ 60 pickup, and I think that's the original 72 GMC step side pickup, and not too sure what that one is. Oh, that's an original, not that you can see it, but that's an original 76 MPC Chevy pickup. I've saved that one for doing a sort of replica of the 70s Driver movie red pickup. You know, that's what I've kept that one for, and that's just sort of a Bronco like the one I bought recently, but missing a few bits, and I do want a nice kit to start that project, hence why I bought that one the other week. And yeah, just general stuff, AMC 55 Chevy or 57 Chevy pickup, and yeah, I think that's the monogram 50 and AMT 50 Chevy there, and these are just F100s. Yeah, like I said, there's nothing of great interest up there, like, but there might be of some interest to somebody. And yeah, these are what I pretty much got left of builder hot rods. You know, I've had a massive cull of them lately, to be quite honest with you, just to get because these were overflowing, these shelves, a few months back, and I've just been picking away at them, seeing what I want to let go of, and kind of getting back to a manageable level again. But yeah, it's just stuff like the AMT 32 Fords, and I think that's the Lindbergh chop pickup, and I think that's my last Willys kit. I've just had a massive cull of them, but I just kept that one for myself. But I've sold loads of coupes, you know, a couple of the pickups, loads of Pro Streets and what have you. But yeah, sorry, I just had a message come up on my phone, a little John Patera hot rod, and an old graffiti project which just got broke over time. Just that's just one for a rebuild one day, and probably do change up a little bit, a few things on it, and then I think this was yeah, I think that's the Unchopped Rebel 5 window, which again I've kind of saved for potential graffiti build. And you know, I wouldn't mind doing some of them one of these days, but it's just getting round to it and what have you. And a couple of 34 Fords and 41 Plymouth, and a big run of 40, 39 and 40 Fords. You know, there'll be a mixture of the coupes and sedans. I think, well, a few of each pretty much, and just, you know, just run-at-mill kind of stuff really. Yeah, 36 Fords and 37 Chevy, 32 Fords, couple of Midnight Cowboys down at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with them ones yet, but a good run of 44 monogram 44 pickups, you know. I do like that kit, and yeah, I think that's a big long run of them, to be quite honest with you. But some of them worse than others, some of them are just parts. And on this one, I think we just got a few more bits of monogram stuff. I think this is the last of the monogram stuff. I think I cleared out one shelf, which we saw in the last video, and these are just some ones I've just keeping aside, like, for now, and you know, see if I can get round to actually doing any of them myself. But yeah, I think those two are the original monogram 55 Chevys, and that top one's missing frame, and the blue one's pretty much complete. I've shown that in that other video. But yeah, I just popped a 56 Thunderbird on top where the space was, where I just sent one to Sean of them originals, but yeah, these are just like 55s and 56 Chevys and yeah, Nomads, Coupes, a bit of mixture of everything in there really, but I think they're mainly 55s and 57s. I think I got rid of most at 56s now, and just a few of the old Thunderbirds. I think that's an original 60s issue. You can tell by the brown plastic and the tinted glass and headlamps and what have you. Yeah, I think that's another original, but with the custom wheels and what have you. Always had really nice custom wheels in this original Thunderbird, and yeah, it's got the tinted glass as well. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a few of these Thunderbirds, to be quite honest with you. I think that's just a later issue, and that one at the bottom's just got all... Hang on. I've been looking for a Tiara bar from one of the originals, and been looking for it for everywhere for Lee, and I just can't find one, and I put a load of... I'm not going to track it out now, but that's somewhere to check, because that's got a load of the custom bits in it. I think the custom bits from a later issue, which I don't think had the Tiara bar for the bubble top, but yeah, just things like that old Revel London Taxi. I think it's been bought out under a number of different manufacturers, that one. The original, I think that's is it the Firebomb or something? Like what the Barger Beast used to be before the earlier issue of that. And yeah, just a couple of monogram full size kits. You know, the 69 Super B, that was quite a nice kit. That's a really nice build. That was one which I keeping for myself at all, and like I say, don't worry, none of them get damaged the way I store them. In fact, they do very, very well, considering, to be quite honest with you. And yeah, just run at mill kind of Corvettes, monogram Corvettes. I think that's the other GTX or Roadrunner we use for a few bits and pieces for that police car project. And yeah, there's not a great deal of interest at that quirky monogram Camaro, and I think that's the Lindbergh version of the old Pyro Lincoln, and monogram 41 Lincoln, and I think that's the monogram 66 Malibu, and it's just random things really on these shelves at the minute. I've got to sort a few of these shelves out towards the end. Yeah, I always kept that one. That's quite a nice little kit, is a Di Tommaso or something like that. And yeah, and then an old IMC Beetle. It was such a fantastic kit, that IMC Beetle. And yeah, if you got I think all you need to build 2 kits out of that. What they put in that kit is, I think you'd need another body and the doors, and that's it. Everything else you get a separate chassis in that IMC kit, or the Union one as it got later released in the mid to late 80s, and I think you even get a different hood and a different trunk. So yeah, I think if you found just a scrap body and you had a mint IMC or Union kit, you'd easily make 2 kits out of it. I've always thought of building one so you can just switch them over and use both chassis, display them how you like them at that moment in time, either the stock or the drag. But yeah, it's this one's just full of Corvettes, to be quite honest with you. And I do like Corvettes, but maybe not to this extent. Always been something that don't really fetch a lot of money, especially builder wise. You know, they're just not valuable at all, and it's a lot of work packing this kind of stuff. So I'd rather just keep them than sell stuff off for a fiver, because it ain't gonna do me any, you know, it doesn't make me any, doesn't pay the bills or anything like that. So, but I mean, I think mainly the bottom rows are just, the bottom 2 rows are 63s of various in various conditions, and but above we got quite a lot of like the 64. I think the 64 to 66s are probably the rarest ones to get, and then the AMT 67's quite rare, and then of course MPC. I think I've got a few MPC 67s in there, but you know, the majority of these rows here are all 64 to 66s, and they're quite rare kits, them, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, a lot have been built with the triple tail lights. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a few of these, and I'll definitely be keeping the rarer ones. See if I ever get round to doing anything with them, and a couple of late 60s Stingrays. I think they're 68s or 69 AMT annuals, them, and yeah, a couple of the later Stingrays, the show cars. Can't remember what the Mako Shark. I think that's the later 70s ones, which came with the trailers, and they just got more sort of run-at-mill 60s and 58s and 59s, a few SMP stuff, bits of SMP in there as well. The original 59s and 60s, I think there's a few of them in there, and I think yeah, I mean, the Corvettes are not very interesting at all, are they? But they do make nice kits. I think that's an original MPC first issue one, but oh, this is a nice one. You know, this one, I sold it years ago. I sold it to Lee. I'll see if I can get this one out of the backlight, but yeah, I sold it to Lee. Put out there while I'm fanning about with this, but yeah, years ago I sold it to Lee. I sold it at the same time I sold a really well-known 36 Ford, and potentially this one was from the same builder, but yeah, I sold it to a chap called Lee in the UK. He's very well known in the UK. He does probably the hardest working person for Facebook and model groups, I would say. Lee is, you know, he does a hell of a lot for the community, Facebook wise, and you know, he does a lot of, I reckon he does a lot of promoting for the hobby the best he can in this country. But yeah, good on him. He's a good lad, who's Lee. So anyway, yeah, we sold that, and then maybe a couple of years later, he put it on eBay again, and I bought it back off him, and I don't think either of us sold it for a great deal. I think when I sold it, it sold for about 11 quid, and I think when Lee sold it, it sold for less than that. And I think the reason we both sold it is because I think we both like restoring stuff, and that was just a little bit too nice. So I think what I'll do with this is, I mean, it does have a starting to sink around the custom front end, you know, where they've had that. I think they're the pods from the 57 Ford. You know, I think we'll be able to, I mean, I'll just polish that, I think, and the wheels are starting to melt, and I think that's the worst part of the kit. So I think maybe a quick polish, and we'll put some new wheels on it, and just give it just bring it back up to speed. But that one, you know, I'll restore anything, but that's even pushing me borderline, and it did the last time. That's why I sold it. But you know, when I saw it again, I thought I've got to have that back, because yeah, that's a really nice one, and I don't think I'll ever sell that one again. But yeah, I'll sort out putting that in the back later. I'll just pop it back in its home, and hopefully not lose that roof down back of it. Yeah, I'll just quickly grab that roof out of there so it don't fall over. We'll pop that in the bag, and we can just sort that out at
a later date. But yeah, and then down here, I mean, we won't spend much time at all on this shelf. It's just all sort of vintage cars and really difficult things to restore, to be quite fair. But I kept a lot of them just in case I wanted to build hot rods out of them. There's something a little bit quirky out of a big vintage car, but and I have culled off a lot of this. Was another set of stuff which I had 2 shelves full, and I've got rid of 1 shelf, and we're down to the last one. Like, but there's all sorts in there. All MPC, Joanne, Monogram, but yeah, it's a few of them nice big old Cadillacs from Italy, a few other quirky bits, and I will be keeping some of that stuff. But the fact of the matter, they're a bit like Corvettes, just not worth anything. So every now and again I'll just get rid of a few just to make a bit of shelf space and make it a little bit more manageable down here. And I think I've done quite well over the last couple of months. I mean, these shelves were overfilling, and had to make some room for future stuff, and I can't keep everything. But yeah, that's just mainly 1/16 stuff. We've got a couple of like the 1/16 AMT Chevy and the AMT 55 Thunderbird. Really nice kit, them 55 Thunderbirds. I really need to build one of them days. And there's a lot of 1/16 sort of Revel classic cars down there. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, to be quite honest with you. That's quite a nice one. I think, is it the 1/20th Tamiya? Is it 1/20th, or I don't think they're big enough to be 1/16 for them, but I think it's 1/20th, that one. Yeah, that's the last one I've got. I do like them, and I sold a lot of them. But I just kept one aside, like, just because I've always liked them things. It's quite a clean one, is that, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I've just got a few of these Cadillacs and what have you, and in various conditions. But I think both the Polar Lights, I think I've got a couple of the Polar Lights X01 and the AMT X01A. But I just keep them for in case I ever fancy building a hearse or anything like that. And I was contemplating building a station wagon out of one, but a few years back I actually bought another nice collection. Somebody had done a really nice job of shortening one of these and making it kind of into a station wagon. Beautiful little kit. I think the only thing that put me off building one of these into a station wagon was when I saw that, and it was lovely, like I say, a really well executed kit, but as soon as you shorten that body, the roof looks too high. So I've got a few Builder Monogram 59 Cadillac convertibles, and I think that'll probably be a better base. It's got a better wheelbase for a sort of station wagon, and we may use the roof off one of these, but use the stock frame, just to the Monogram 59 Cadillac, just to drop that roof line down. But yeah, that's sorry, I just getting lost in thought there. But these ones are just all bodies and different descriptions, just scrap bodies, which I've kept aside, because you never know when you might need to cut a couple of wheel arches out for a custom projects. But yeah, nothing really of interest there. Just sort of, they're all completely different. A few old coupe bodies, and just kept that one because it has a Allison engine, which I can put in that Thunderbird, the 67 Thunderbird, which I showed in the last video, which didn't have an Allison engine in it. It was just a body and a funny car chassis. But yeah, I mean, there's not a great deal else. Just I think that's part of the V8 double kit, and a couple of the old Mark II Escort rally cars, and I just keep these ones because yeah, one day I wouldn't mind hacking those big rally car wheel arches out and, you know, making a stock version out of one of them. You know, real baseline one with, yeah, that light blue they had in the 70s, which you saw a lot of them in, but and 70s and 80s. But yeah, like I said, I don't think there's a great deal else. Just various scrap bodies, and yeah, there's a few full kits in here, but it's all very random. These do need sorting out a little bit more now. We're starting to clear the shelf space, and but yeah, I kept older ones like that. You know, it's make a nice little custom out of one of them, or yeah, I don't have too much Japanese stuff, to be quite honest. In fact, I thought I sold that. I just deleted images for it, so I have to retake images for that. Good thing I seen that, because yeah, I was convinced I'd sold that, to be quite fair. And but yeah, I just feel that space where there's a bit of a gap there. But yeah, up on this shelf, you know, we've got a few little bits and pieces, Jeeps, and that's an old DeLorean, and a Polar Lights Batmobile, which somebody had built, and I think that's a later Batman Returns from AMT in the 90s, and I think a couple of, I think that's a 57 Cadillac, and I think that's a Revel 57 Cadillac, and these two of them weird scale a Toki kits, or whoever bought them out after a Toki or a Taki or whatever they're called, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, weird scales, but they do build up into me, and that's even a really nice built kit of the Challenger, to be quite honest with you. It's that's why I've never fancied restoring it, because it's quite a nice one, but they have really nice wheels on these, and to be honest, if I put down as builder, I'd probably sell the whole kit for less than I'd be able to take the wheels off and sell the wheels for. You know, they're in that much demand. But I think this has just got the stock up caps. I did have one of them Thunderbirds recently, the police car version, all mint in box, and I was going to keep it, but then I bought that one shortly after. That's what I mean, you know, a build came up, the box kit went, and the builder stayed, so that's a really good example of that. So, but yeah, just bits and pieces, a couple of these Tamiya Volkswagen's beautiful kits, like they're just parts cars, and yeah, I think that, like I say, we're kind of running out of decent stuff anyway. I don't think we started off on a couple of good shells, but yeah, that's just a Fox Body Mustang and MPC kit. I think that's pretty much unbuilt, and old MPC Beretta. That's a silhouette in the trailer, and I think there's another silhouette just above it, and the old is it a Dodge Omni funny car. A few more funny car bodies, and old sunbeam body, and I think that's a pretty complete Orange Blossom, but needs a lot of repairs and fixing up and what have you. But yeah, I think the battery's going to get low, so what I might do is just quickly give it a quick charge for 10 minutes and just start back up on this shelf, I think, so just because we're going to cut off in a second, so I'll see you in a second. Yeah, sorry about that. I just know I've got to film a little bit more after we've finished here, and didn't want me battery running half the way through, so I think we're pretty much done on these shells anyway. I think all we've really got here is that's the other Kansas Cruiser we didn't build, and see if I can pull these down on the floor a little bit. I don't think there's a great deal. I think this is the extent of what's left of me 130 Army small scale stuff. Yeah, we used a Kansas Cruiser to build that that little street rod from the 70s for the last small scale build, group build. But yeah, we still got one of them left, and I think all that's left in here is just the spares from the Mark III Zodiac and the Cortina, and a few other little bits and pieces I gathered up during that last project. But yeah, I think I don't think there's a great deal more in here, to be quite honest. I mean, to be quite honest, I don't think we'll even see. I think yeah, just an Airfix Escort, an old motorbike, an old I think that's my last Merit kit I've got. Sell a lot of them, to be quite fair. Yeah, I always thought once I got a full collection I'd keep it, but then I got a full collection and I'd sold it, like, so sold them all. So I think a lot went to France for some reason, but yeah, I don't think we're going to see what's in the bottom of there. So, but I think they're all these are just the one AMT 140 third scale kits, and I bought them all as a big lot. I think there's a few rare ones in there, like the 67 GTO, there's a 67 Thunderbird, 67 Barracuda, and I think there's some of the earlier 67 Mustangs, and I think there's a 67 Camaro before they got retooled. But yeah, I think that there's not great. Oh yeah, we've got an Escort and a little Viva. Bought that actually once Sean had done his, because I quite fancied one and just got a builder out of that. So, but yeah, I think they're all the 143rd. I think we got pretty much the full range, all the Chevys, the Fords, the Camaros, Chevelles. Yeah, I think that's one of the early Camaros there, but yeah, Chevelles, Torinos, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, I did buy it as a big lot, and I was planning on doing something with them, but yeah, I don't think I got enough time on this earth, to be quite fair. So, but I'll keep them for now. They're not doing any harm in there, and they're not exactly breaking the bank by me not selling them. So yeah, I think the last shelf is, unfortunately, this is where my overflow of nice built kits go. I'm just completely out of drawer space and little box space where I keep the built ones. But I mean, I think pretty much all of these here are, I think there's maybe 3 or 4 which I haven't built in here, but yeah, I've got some of the 57 Chevys we've shown before, 55 Chevy bubble top original, which I showed in that big video, and I think that was the Badman that somebody else had built, which I used for that video as well. And all me old 63 Galaxies I built, these have been redone a few times, you know, 'cause I think that's what got me into restorations, is because, you know, back in the day you couldn't afford another kit, so you just rebuilt the ones which you'd done in the earlier years. I think all 3 of them have been redone in my late teens, early 20s, and in all fairness, they probably do with redoing again. The chrome foil working great on some of them, and but I'm in no pressing rush to do anything with them. You know, they're good enough as they are, and that was a nice Monte Carlo and a couple of 58 Chevys. These are quite nice ones. I mean, I'm not going to pull them all the way out, but that was a nice Mercury I did with a fog paint job, and cut the pillar out of the B pillar out of the roof to give it a longer custom roof look and radius to wheel arches. I think the 58 Impala hubcaps on there, and But yeah, I mean that was quite a nice thing. I was quite pleased with that, to be quite honest. And there's another one next to it. That's another custom job. You know, canted the headlamps on that one and did a really nice fade, gold fade paint job on it. I was never happy with. I put 56 Chevy wheels on it, just because they were about and they had white walls, so I put them on it. And I think back in the day, I used to completely lose interest once I'd done the paint, and I just threw the kits together, to be fair. But I think that Carson top was made out of the original hard top. It's just very slightly has a few little sink marks. I could probably get away with saving the main paint job and just doing something else with that Carson top. But yeah, that was another nice kit and a really nice fade. And I don't do too much of that now. It's just because I just bought a cleaning out spray guns or airbrushes all the time. You know, it's yeah. I used to be a painter, a car painter, and it was cleaning out spray guns was the job I hated the most, and it kind of rubbed off into later years, and almost like a anxiety against having to do any of that carry on. But yeah, that's a Lincoln somebody built, and the reason I bought that one is it was built pretty much exactly like the one my dad had done when I was a kid. He built his, just polished the plastic and just did really nice detail paint, and that's exactly how that one's done. So yeah, I kept hold of that one just remind me of olden days and what have you, kits we had about the house in olden days. And that was just another one from that collection of nice built stuff, which I kept hold of because, again, I do like the Lincolns, and I do have to build one myself one day. But that, for now, they're just happily stopping me doing that. And yeah, I think that's quite a nice sectioned 49 Ford, section taken out the body. Really nice is that one, really clean. And you know, luckily nothing's, the bodywork hasn't bled through on that one over time. Yeah, that's quite an old build, is that. Yeah, never sell that one. That's a nice one. And I just kept another one which in stock version next to it and what have you. But I think that's the only predictor I've ever put together. I think I was having a bit of a struggle with that rear hinge, and I think I just gave up on it in the end. I think it does open to some extent, but I think I was starting to get worried about covering that canopy and glue and what have you. And it was before the days I knew of things like Mod Podge and stuff like that. So, but yeah, there's a few nice bits in here, like yeah, but unfortunately, like yeah, the one Cougar I've ever built, and that's a 55 Chevy Cameo. Is it a 55 or 57? I think that's a 55. 55 Cameo. Really nice build is that one. Really clean build, and that's just because I've kept that one because again my dad had started building one as I was a kid, and I really liked the original box art on that. It was like in the 90s version, but it looked really pretty on the box. And then in later versions where they put the kit just lost appeal after that box for me, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, so I think what we'll do is, like I said, I don't think there's really much else on here we need to cover, and you know, we're seeing all this stuff anyway. So yeah, I think the next step is we'll just have a look at the last stuff in the drawers. Like I say, I won't be pulling everything out, but it'll give you a quick look at what we've got like. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll go into the other room, and then hopefully that won't take too long. We can finally get this series closed down. But Again, if you've stuck around for this whole series, it certainly has taken a lot longer than I thought it would. I thought stupidly I could probably do each video in an hour. That's just me yakking and me pulling out too many of these old kits to slow us down. So, but yeah, we'll see you in the next clip, so don't go anywhere. See you in a second. Well, I'll do the best to show some of these, but we've maybe got like 4 or 5 drawers full of these things built up, and you know, I'm not going to pull any of them out, and the drawers only come out so much, and I have got help as well again, so we're just going to have to live with little Ringo here, and you know, I'm sure he won't cause us too many issues, like, so you give him a bit of fuss like that and he'll be straight back, like, so. So yeah, anyway, back to that. Like I said, I can only show as much as I can show in here, but you know, this drawer is pretty much full of that monogram collection I bought. I put a few extra pieces in there which are sort of like them old monogram kits, but I think that was the one I actually got from that collection I bought, and that's one I built years ago, and that's a really nice. So I had the 36 Ford, really well known early period model, which was in Auto World, the Auto World magazine. AMT used that model, but this came from, and I sold it to a guy in America, and who told me all about the history and what have you. But this was another one from that builder. Just a really, I remember on the box when it came, it came in a little white box, and it said show winner 1960 something, early, I think it was 62, 63 or something like that, or maybe 64, between them years. But apparently that won the show somewhere, just done in a really nice sort of orangey metallic, not overly glossy, just really nice kit is that one. And yeah, I would have kept that kit, but it was just, I needed money, simple as that. Like, so, you know, you can't really skate around it any more than that. But yeah, we showed all these obviously, but the little T in the bathtub buggy, and the Bootle Express. I think I've got another Bootle Express there. It just needs a few things repairing on, and I'll go back on the shelf. And little uncertainty, and you know, since I bought that lot, and you know, and I bought that lot because I had genuine interest in it, and after seeing Sean's video, and then you're thinking I just shoved in a drawer, and so I'm still sort of on the fence on what to do with these. You know, I might just eventually offload them, but that was the other little T builder I had. Yeah, I know. Sorry, cat's trying to get attention from me and what have you. So every now and again we might have to turn around and give him a bit of that attention. But yeah, I think there was more of that monogram stuff in here than just a stack of instructions they came with, and yeah, I don't think there's anything in there which we didn't really cover in that video. So if you do want to see these particular ones in more detail, maybe there might be a few missing ones, but you know, they'll all be in that video. I'm just gonna, as you can see, I've just moved that little coffin into there. I'm just gonna pop this one on top of there as well, like so. That means all my show rod kits and stuff like that are now together, and I got a couple of random ones on them shelves on them shelves in the corridor, like. But yeah, and I think we just got a few nice ones in here, like, you know, 64. These are the ones which I bought, which I don't have the box for anymore. That was the original 64 El Camino I bought, and this one is actually a 65 I used all the custom bits on it. Did a really nice paint job on that. I think I could probably tidy up the chrome foil a little bit now. I'm a little bit better at that nowadays, but I think I used the wheels out of the 65 Riviera. But this is actually, yeah, this is a 65. You can even put the stock front end on a 65, but you just need to shorten them front fenders and do a bit of work to the car support to make these parts fit. But yeah, really nice kit then, really pretty kit. And yeah, the old Showdown one which I built like the box art, and yeah, nice old Comet and what have you, and the Oldsmobile, and some of these Roadrunners that I haven't done. These are really nice, beautiful Pro Street kits, and I've not built these. These would by somebody else, but yeah, I was getting a little bit worried about doing too much engine detail on that 65 Grand Prix, next 65 Galaxy projects, because yeah, I wanted to do a good bit of detail. And the chap who did these, he did nice, like throttle linkages, but they were very basic. And then I think that I'm just going to copy what he's done to it. These are going to come in great, and they are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful builds. And yeah, and that's why I keep some of these ones. Yeah, I think the same builder built both of these, and I'll display them proudly with my stuff. It saves me having to. That's why I've got absolutely no desire to build a Roadrunner or a Super Bee project, because I've got two really nice built ones here, and I've got other stuff more in my wheelhouse which I'll do. But yeah, they're really nice built ones, and I do, like say, try to preserve all these ones as much as I can. But yeah, that's a really nice 70 Coronet, and that one we put a resin hood on it. Slightly starting to warp over. Got a slight warp in it over the years, but so I'll have to pop that into some warm water and get that straightened out. It's just lifting up a little bit on the corners, as you can see. I think what's put me off is that I just don't want to ruin the paint. Just, yeah, sod's law. But yeah, I'll start bending it and get a massive crack in the paint. But yeah, 65 El Camino with the camper top on. Kind of move over here, and these are where all Fords are, all 50s Fords are kept and what have you. And there's some really nice built kits in here. And you know, I was talking about that little coffin. Same builder built this one as well. Just I didn't think you would build a nice kit out of that Revel kit, but this one is just so cleanly done. I don't even mind that stupid rear front bumper on it. But this was built in the 60s, was this one, and it looks like it was built yesterday. You know, it's got a little bit of a loose wheel there. Actually, it's still hanging on there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I say, we'll just have to keep doing that every now and again, and then it'll shut up for 2 minutes. So yeah, this was one I built years ago, out of an original. Did a really nice fade job on it. Thought it looked very, very similar to the Jade Idol kit. Yeah, no, sorry, just having a shouting match with the cat at the moment, like so. But yeah, it's it just started. I always thought I spent a lot of time on the body, and then I just lost interest, and then threw the rest of it together. Just painted the chassis white, painted the interior white, and you know, bodywork's held up pretty well over the years, but it's just starting to show a little bit of sinkage, and what's stopping me redoing that is that I'm just going to take away that paint and yeah, that was a really nice paint job, so I might just leave it, to be quite fair. But yeah, we'll just have to, like I say, we're just gonna have to do this every now and again, and then it'll be fine, like so. But yeah, so you might have to have a bit of cat entertainment while we're looking through these. But yeah, just some and again, some of these I haven't built. This one here, this is this was on eBay and not so long ago, and I think the seller wanted 30 quid for it, and then it didn't sell and put it up for 25, and I could see that was worth it any day of the week. Like, I mean, that is such a clean build, is that, with yeah, chrome works really clean. But you know, there's other ones I have popped together. You know, did an original Lamping wagon with the original decals, managed to get them to actually work, like, and yeah, like I say, we're just gonna have to keep him happy every now and again, like. And I'm trying to film this and now I'm getting my hand scratched to pieces, like, behind me. But yeah, some nice ones in here. Yeah, no, convertible made out of the I'm sorry, I'm having a real struggle with this cat at the moment, like. But yeah, they're just such a nice kit to put together. These, you know, they're just, I don't know if AMT, when they did the tool for this, they changed the front end, because I always thought, like, the front end on this one, or, I mean, I know it's completely new tool body and everything, but I think they must have learnt a lesson from the Nomad, because the Nomad just looked like them front headlamps were far too big for the Nomad, to be quite honest with you. And you know, when we got this one, it had a much prettier front end, so I'm thinking one day of maybe cutting the front end off one of these and putting it on the Nomad, because it's just it just looks like an overall nicer front end for some reason. I might be just seeing things, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, so I've got more versions of the 55, then you can check a stick out. You know, probably my favourite are the Tri-5 Chevys, to be quite fair with you. You know, I like the 56s and the 57s, but I think the 55s were the nicest looking ones. And yeah, we got I think that was from that collection I just bought as well, that one. The builder did what I would have done again. I think the chap who built these were very, very similar in build ideas, but he'd made the roof look like the original tool, rather than that big step halfway down with the stupid flutes, and it just looked really naff, that El Camino roof, once they did that. And yeah, just to have two levels of the short roof, it just looked weird to me. So hence why I've never built one with using that later tool, El Camino top. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I can't, like I say, I can't pull it. That's a really nice build. 53 Corvette, is it, something? But yeah, I've a few more, like, and this is, like I've said in the past, sometimes I'll build two kits together, and I'll build a stock and then use the custom parts. You know, this is a stock Bonneville I built, put together, and at the same time I had that on the bench. I had I think this was a 2+2, the 90s 2+2, 90s 2+2 issue, which they changed from the Bonneville tooling. And the reason I like this one, and especially if you're building a custom, try and find the 2+2, because it doesn't have all the trim work, or the fluted trim under that centre trim. Makes it work really nice for a custom. It works well with the, I mean, you can sand all that stuff off if you wanted, obviously, but it works well with the front end I chose the front end, the custom front end I liked, and the roof, it's just a very subtle reshape of the roof. I cut a section out of the C pillars and made it more like a wraparound fastback roof, and it just goes to show how taking one little tiny bit out of a roof will make a big difference. And again, these were built in my 20s, so 20 years ago or something, and some bit foil's coming off a little bit, but I'd never rebuild that. I don't think I'd even bother refoiling it, to be honest. I mean, I just live with any little imperfections, as that's just a part of the history, really, of the kit, like. And yeah, and again, I did the same with the Joanne 68 Prize of 300s. Yeah, this is a really nice, beautiful, for me, a beautiful custom version I did, and I painted it in a really nice orangey colour with a really strong metal flake thrown over the top. But over the years, and this is why I never use like Humbrol glue anymore on certain bits. I'll maybe glue an engine together with that stuff, but yeah, glued the never used to cut the two glass retaining panels out and just glued that to the roof, and I think it's just making the roof sink a little bit. So unfortunately, all that nice paint work, I'm probably gonna have to redo one day. For now, it's fine. Just cut down the front grille, stock front grille, and put that in where the put that in over the custom valance, and then just added a couple of the headlamps out of the, I think they were custom headlamps out of the 65 Chevelle station wagon, just to make it sort of look a little bit like a 67 rather than a 68. And then yeah, we just did a stock version as well, like, and in all fairness, I could probably add a little bit more to that to make it look a bit nicer. I remember I was disappointed when I painted the interior on this stuff, just because I painted it. It was moulded in, we all know the 80s kit was moulded in that brown colour, and I sprayed it brown and I put it in there, and it just looked like it was like an exact match for the brown plastic I painted. So it just looked like I just shoved an unpainted plastic interior in there. So I think that's annoyed me a little bit since I built it. But yeah, just a Starfire, a nice Starfire built box stock. And yeah, this was the 63 Plymouth I spent a lot of time on. It was like, I did a lot of custom work on that. Turned out absolutely beautiful in the end. I had a lot of problems along the way, like, and came out nice in the end. But like I mentioned in that last video about, I just used the wrong filler on it, and on that you can see on where I'd pancaked the hood, I think it had already had a pancaked hood, and I was using a builder, and it just sank within a month. So I didn't even ever get a chance to display that. It just ended up put in a bag, and like with the ones I'm building for the channel, I've just got a few ratty AMT faded out display cases. I'm just putting them in to just keep out way. But and that was the one which I built out of an original 63 Plymouth. Wouldn't have put the fenders on if I'd fender skirts on it if I'd built it now. But yeah, I bought that off Car Kits International, Bob Dobinson. I actually thought I was buying the yellow box one, and then he sends me an original one, and he just said he couldn't find the yellow one, so he sent me one of the original annuals. That's obviously the Pan Am van. The only reason it's in there and not in a display case is because I'm really struggling to find a display case high enough to accommodate the van and and the aerial on top, like, so I have to apologise for any shots of my spare bedroom, like, you know, it's just going to be in there. But yeah, this is an old resin satellite. I didn't build this one, it needs redoing, to be quite honest with you. It's feels like it's got brick weight in there. I think this must have been done up a 1/24 kit, to be quite honest with you, but I mean, it's a nice clean build. It just it's sometimes when you paint a resin kit, or you see resin kits painted or 3D printed things painted, and they're not quite prepped right. It's almost like it looks like a resin kit straight off, because you can see some of the flaws and what have you. But I just bought that as a bit of reference material more than anything else. Like, I think with it being saying that it's probably based on a Monaco. In all fairness, I really don't know. Just looking at that roof, it's very Monaco, to be quite fair. So I don't know what the kit base was at, but it has a big cumbersome plate of a chassis, which probably adds to half of that weight which I'm feeling in that one. And these are, I won't show these. I am going to do a video on these in time, and but that's the conversion I did for the Baker 11 Mercury for the Gone in 60 Seconds film, and did it all damaged, and you know, the damage looks pretty much like the movie. I spent a lot of time on putting the creases right, like on that side it fold. I remember it was folding over the inner quarter panel, so we just twisted it over there. And none of this is like foil or anything. This is all plastic. All I do is heat up the plastic and use crimp like pliers and stuff to make sharp edges, and then fill the dents with filler and sort of shape the dents out of the filler, rather than trying to mess about with putting tin in there and stuff. But yeah, that was the Eleanor I did. Again, trying to keep the damage as close as possible. That front wing's always a nightmare to do, like where they wrapped it around lampposts. And this was just built purely as an experiment. This was an old Parma kit, one-piece body Parma kit. I don't think it had a hood. It had barely any bits left to it, and I just saw it on the shelf, and I thought, well, I want to build one at Eleanor's, and then I might as well practice on that. And then the more I did on it, you know, by the time you've done the body work, you know, that's pretty much your built kit, like. So, but I am going to do a few other little bits. At the time, I didn't have any correct wheels, so I just put Baby Moons on it to resemble the Ford hubcaps. But I've got some Ford hubcaps from the Interceptor I'm just going to throw on there, to be quite honest with you, and get that finished up. But I mean, it's a finished kit, and to be honest, M2 are probably my all-time favourite builds which I've done. So, but yeah, I think we're going to struggle seeing in here, because I've got a big box overhanging this top drawer, and this top drawer is really shallow as well. But yeah, no, I built this when I was 13 or 14, and you know, it's actually a really nice paint's a bit dry as one at first. Cars I had aerosoled, and I buffed it out a few years back and slightly went through on that ridge on the hood. But yeah, it was again, you know, it's not the best build in world, but you know, it's part of my history, and you know, say I was only that young when I built that, I didn't think that turned out too bad. You know, I was yeah, like I say, 13 or around about that age, and I can't get that sit right, but I'll sort that out after. And another one I did,
used to have white walls, but I used them vinyl white walls from the 80s and 90s, which just peeled off. I didn't know that you really would have been best off heating them on to meet the contours, but mine just always wrinkled up and fell off, and wouldn't mind redoing that. I was, not that it's a bad built kit, it's just I was never happy with the pancaked hood on that. It was like a shortcut to doing a pancakes hood, and you know, it needs a proper pancakes hood on that. Does that? Yeah, I was never really. I was quite happy with the rest of it, like, but it looked nicer with the white wall tyres on it. But yeah, maybe I'll do something with that again. But I've got plenty more to mess with before that's. I never just got like things like the old Monogram Revel 59 Impala, and I think that's a 70 Impala, and 65 Impala, 67 Impala, and I think that's the old, if I can squeeze it out of there, I think that's the old 63 I did restored years and years, and you see what I mean by them vinyl tyres. Yeah, like I say, I think you should have, the right way to use vinyl is, yeah, use a bit of heat on them, like an air dryer or something. But yeah, that was another one where I kind of gave up on it a little bit towards the end, and then just, I think the interior, what's in that, I didn't even restore it. I just kept the interior how it was painted from the original and just repainted the body. And yeah, that was a kind of a half-hearted build. I remember that, and yeah, I could make a much prettier kit out of that nowadays. I mean, they're not particularly my favourite kit. I think they're very toyish, the 63 Impalas, but yeah, just a 64 Impala as well. So, but I don't think there's really much else to really look at, to be quite fair. And there's probably loads I've missed, but yeah, I think what we'll do is like we'll just we'll sign it off again. So yeah, we're pretty much up at an hour, and like, so we've seen like all this stuff at the beginning and all that stuff in the other videos. I mean, there's probably 4 hours of in total with that first video with the box stuff, which we did. You know, we've probably made 3 videos out of it total, and it's taken me 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours to film, like, and edit. But yeah, with that, we'll sign off. And if you have made it this far and you've watched all 3 videos, you know, thanks ever so much. Like, so, but yeah, whatever you're doing for the rest of the weekend, hope you enjoy yourself, and we will see you in the next video. See you, bye.